In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful, my dear friends and fellows. Misery, misery, and misery. Nobody wants to lead a miserable life at all. But there are people, maybe there are many of the people who are living the life of misery, who are leading a miserable life. There is no dearth of people like this one. Now, these people, they will be found saying quite often that my misery is not because of myself, but because of that person, because of that person, because of my luck, because of my parent, because of my society, because of my relative, because of my family, because of my neighbor, because of my friends, because of my colleagues, because of the company I'm working for, etc., etc., etc. So they people say this thing. As a matter of fact, almost all the miseries are self-generated. Almost all of the miseries are self-generated, whether a person admits it or not. But this is very much a truth that almost all of the miseries are self-generated. So we need to avoid all those self-generated miseries, and as that is going to be our topic of today's discussion, and to be able to speak well on the subject, we have included a very useful, a very good article on the subject as well. An article which has been authored by Sean Grover. Sean Grover is a well-known researcher and author, and he has come up with a very useful, very good, very beneficial article here. And the caption of his article is 10 ways to tackle self-generated miseries. 10 ways to tackle self-generated miseries, and we are going to present a list of those all self-generated miseries on the one hand, and on the other hand we do have to take a solution. We do have to tackle, we do have to counter that self-generated miseries. So the caption of the article is 10 ways to tackle the self-generated misery. What are those 10 ways, and what is the possible solution of all this self-generated misery? First of all, Sean Grover says blaming others. Blaming others for the kind of misery a person is facing, for the kind of life a person is living. Putting the responsibility on your parents, on your sisters and brothers, your siblings, on the society, on the government, on your luck or whatever you call it. But the people are seen blaming others and others and others and others. They keep blaming, they keep blaming, they keep blaming. That is their the first way why they have generated so much of this misery. I think it must be counted at all. It must be abandoned. This attitude is highly toxic, poisonous, noxious, whatever you call it. It must be uprooted from the very depth of it. Stop blaming, and stop blaming others. Stop blaming anyone else at all. And although even if it is true, but we don't have to blame others. And the second is avoiding responsibility. Avoid, actually many of these 10 points are overlapping each other. So it is avoiding responsibility. Actually we have to take the responsibility. We do have to take the responsibility. We do have to feel responsible. Unless and until we do feel responsible, I think the things are not going to get better at all. We do have to take the responsibility instead of avoiding the responsibility. We do have to take the responsibility instead of avoiding the responsibility. The third is a lack of gratitude. Lack of gratitude. Lack of gratitude. Why? Because these people think that nobody have done good thing with me. So why to become grateful? Because my luck have not done anything good with me. My parents, my siblings, my relatives, the rest of the relatives, the society, the government, the world, the life, and the circumstances didn't do any good with me. So why to become grateful? I think, as a matter of fact, the fact there are plenty and plenty of things which are very good with you, which have been done by your luck, by Allah subhanahu wa taala, by your parents, by your sisters, by siblings, by by the neighbors, by the all the people. Simply we have not made a list of that. Simply we have kept focusing upon the complaints and complaints and complaints. So actually there are a lot of things which are actually for which we need to become grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is very very important. Lack of gratitude. The fourth is constantly complaining. These people, every time you come across them, you will see them that they are complaining, complaining, and complaining. Complaining or criticizing, complaining, criticizing, complaining, criticizing. So, this is another way why the people generate misery for them, they whether they understand it or not. So I think that we need to stop complaining at all. There shouldn't be any sort of complaint at all. But if we want somebody to do something concrete, which somebody ought to do that, so we can ask. But as for the complaining is concerned, I think this complaining must be stopped forthwith. Feeling victimized, feeling victimized. This is the point number 4. Point number 5, feeling victimized. I think we don't need to feel victim at all, because we are actually not a victim. If at all we do call ourselves as a victim, I think the things are not going to improve at all. So we don't have to become a victim at all. Stop saying that somebody has victimized me, my luck has victimized me, my parents, my siblings, my neighbors, my government, my state, all of them have victimized me. As actually they none of them victimized you at all. And we should stop thinking that somebody has victimized me, because it is not good at all. Don't become a victim at all. And don't feel yourself as a victim. The sixth is relentless fault finding. Fault finding, fault finding, fault. That is criticizing. Fault finding and criticizing. Stop doing that, because start looking for the good things in the other people, so that you will be able to adopt it. Even if at all you have come across a fault, simply think that I need to protect myself from this sort of fault, and I need to avoid this sort of fault. Otherwise, we need to look at the good what the other people do, and because so that we are able to adopt, and we are able to follow that particular thing. And now it is the incessant arrogance. Being arrogant is very very bad. Never ever become arrogant, never ever feel arrogant, because if at all you are feeling arrogance, it is going to be something very bad indeed. Let's be polite, let's be respectful toward the other people. Let's be a person who is a well mannered person, a person of the good manners. Let's be a person of the good manners. So that is really really important. The next is constant pessimism. Don't be a pessimist at all. No, always 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 be an optimist. Stop being a pessimist at all, because those who are pessimists, obviously they are inviting the misery. Rather, they cannot avoid the misery at all. They are avoiding, they are inviting the misery, because they people are pessimist. We don't have to become a pessimist at all. We need to become as much an optimist as it is possible. We need to become a totally optimist person. That was the number 8. Number 9 is delusional nostalgia. The past might be good. Certain things in the past might be good. But, even if at all some things are very true, then too we shouldn't be that much, delving into it, because we should accept the fact that the time is changing, and the time will change further. Everything else is changing. Instead, delusional nostalgia, which was not even true, because you are looking upon your past and you are thinking that the previous years were very good. It might not be true at all. Let's move forward. Even if it is true, let's move forward, and try to find the good which is available in today. If at all we are not focused upon our today, if at all we are not mindful, then we have not developed the mindfulness. What is going to happen then? That we will be missing again whatever we couldn't avail today. So we need to put ourselves out of the delusional nostalgia. The last is validation anger. I want the certificate of approval from the other people. I don't need to have a certificate of approval from the other people at all. And I don't need to get validated by other people. My quality of work, my attitude, my results, all of that is mine, and this is great. I think that validation, and shouldn't be looking. I should stop pleasing the people at all. I shouldn't be in need of the validation from the other people at all. So these are the 10 ways. Seen Grover says that protect yourself from the self-imposed misery. So these are the 10 points which only makes us miserable. Self-imposed misery, we need to avoid all that. It was a very useful and a very beneficial article indeed, and we need to learn from it as much as it is possible. And I think that it is one of the best articles I've ever read, and I think that the kind of guidance which is available here, I think it is priceless. It is highly important, and now it's up to me and you that how much of the benefit we are going to take out of it. Thank you, Jazakallah.